Let's go on the chapter Multiplication in Plants Part 4. We have been discussing about pollination in plants. There are two types of pollination, that is self-pollination and cross-pollination. In self-pollination, pollen grains take place from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of the same plant. This is called self-pollination. Then what about cross-pollination? Here, pollen grains are transferred from anther of one flower to stigma of another flower of another plant. This is called cross-pollination. Several factors that are involved in the process of pollinations are insect, wind, birds, bat, squirrels, etc. How it happened? You know that there are two gametes, that is male gamete flower, part of the flower, and female gamete part of the flowers are present in a same flower or different flower. So what happened? When the insect sit on any of the flower, the pollen grains stick onto the body, and when it fly to another or jump to another flower, this pollen grains which is stick to their body fall into the pollen tubes. What is pollen tubes? It is the female part of the flower. Okay, na? Through this it reaches the ovary. There fertilization occurs. Then tell me how water is responsible for, or water is an agent for this pollination to occurs, because pollen grains from the flower falls into the water, and water carries and this pollen grains along with that, and it reaches the part of other flower, then their fertilization occurs. So this is a way transfer of pollen grains occurs from one part of the body to another part of the body, or one part of the flower to another part of the flowers through these agents. Now we are going to discuss about fertilization. What is fertilization? It is a process of fusion of both the male gamete and female gamete, and to form the zygote. Zygote is a single cell which is developed after the fusion of male gamete and female gamete. I told you, in pollen grains, inside the pollen grains, there is a male gametes are present. It is too minute. Okay, through this agent, we discussed about some agents like squirrel, bat, birds. They bring these pollen grains. Without the knowledge of this organism, the pollen grains stick to their body, which fall into the female part of the flower. That means pollen grains, inside the pollen grains, the gamete is present, male gamete is present, which falls into the pollen tubes, which is the female part of the flower. Through these tubes, through these pollen tubes, this gamete, male gamete, passes into the ovary. We know that inside the ovary, female gamete, ovum or ovule is present. What is ovule? It is a female gamete. These female gametes are also called as eggs. Zygote, that single cell zygote, later divides to form multiple cell and called embryo. This embryo is later called as seed, which is covered by outer covering, thick covering, protective covering called seed coat. Inside this seed may be containing one or two cotyledons in which food is stored. From this seed, new baby plant is developed. With the time, this ovary develop into fruit. Inside the ovary, ovule or many eggs are zygote is present. This slowly develop into seeds. So what will happen remaining part? They slowly falls off. This ovary develop into fruit with the seeds inside. Every fruit can have minimum one or more than one seeds. So next we move on to the topic dispersal of seeds. Seeds are spreaded from the parent plants, removed from the parent plant by the process of several agents like wind, water, and birds, animals, etc. Scattering of seeds from the fruit to different places is called dispersal of seeds. Some seeds have wings or hairy-like structure on its body surface of the seed. So with the help of wind, Such seeds are carried away or far away places from the parent plant. Some plants like coconut, they live on the shore of the water bodies, bank of the water bodies, that means side area of the water bodies, river, etc. So what will happen? When they ripen, these seeds fall into the water, and this water body carries these seeds and it goes to faraway places, and that seed will be settled in somewhere the bank, some other bank of the this water bodies. From that, the new plant rises up, new plants germinate. Mainly the seeds which float in water like coconut, lotus, etc., these seeds are dispersed with the help of water bodies. Some seeds have, on the surface of the seeds have hook-like structures which will be struck on the bodies of animals. These animals, when they move to faraway places, when they shake their body, these seeds fell it from their body and germinate into new plant. This is a way some seeds are dispersed by the agent called animals. Example is Sandium. And some seeds are dispersed by explosive mechanism like balsam and pea plants. Pea fruit, when they are ripened, when they are matured, they themselves burst and spread to faraway places, and thus baby plant developed from that area.